Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, React and Chill. So last time on Bleach, after the confrontation between Ichigo, Byakuya and Yoruichi took Ichigo away from the battlefield. Obviously, Ichigo hadn't healed completely and she let him know that he would have died in that fight with Byakuya. And later on letting him know that he needs to get to a certain level, the Bankai level, a level that the captains have to achieve before becoming captains, and therefore she's got 3 days to train him before he could go back and fight Byakuya. In the meanwhile, luckily, she also pointed out that Captain Ukitake was Rukia's previous captain, or the one she was on his team, and luckily he was the one who was there. So he basically was gonna take care of her. Of course, he wasn't gonna just kidnap her. However, he did say that the likes of, say, Ganju and Hinataro, and in regards to them, he was going to make sure that they received, or well, in Ganju's case, the medical attention he needed, purely because they were out here risking their lives for one of his officers. Meanwhile, Orihime and Uryu unfortunately bucked into Mayuri. He is the captain of Squad 12, and he's basically some messed up, all I can say is like some messed up bozo. We also found out that Mayuri was the one who's essentially responsible for the death of Uryu's grandfather. Also, Mayuri's lieutenant, Nemu, is created by Mayuri, so he's the one who created her. Essentially, seeing fit, he could do whatever he wants to her, and Uryu saw that when he used her as a decoy to try and get Uryu, cutting through her and cutting Uryu as well, but cutting through her to do that, and also beating on her body when he refused to give her any medicine because he didn't expect her worthless body to have gone down after that one hit. So now Uryu's powering up to take on Mayuri. At this point, Orihime has gotten away from the scene with the help of a Squad 11 officer, as there was a confrontation there, and obviously Uryu told him to take her away because Mayuri actually wanted to Mayuri, after seeing Orihime's talents, wanted to use her as a specimen, so experiment on her. So Uryu made sure she got away from the scene and he was left to take care of Mayuri. And here we are with episodes 44 and 45.
Dislocated joints and torn flesh mean nothing to those who have mastered it.
For me, Ranso Tengai is more than a defense or a way to protect my life. Till I avenge my master, it's the expression of my will to fight.
How many times do I have to tell you? Stop going over there.
But Dad...
Don't argue with me. I have no interest in this, and you have no talent for it. So the Quincy's will become extinct when your grandfather passes on.
Why do you hate being a Quincy so much?
Because there is no profit in it.
Oh god. My father's a businessman.
These days, being a Quincy doesn't put food on the table. And with a family to support, that is a real problem.
I want to become powerful. If I'm a strong Quincy, I can protect everyone from hollows. And I know my father will see he was wrong about the Quincy's.
Oh.
What is father protecting? Money?
In preparation for that day, I shall entrust you with this.
Ew! That box he gave me, was it the glove he was wearing?
This is the Sonrei Shuto. It is a glove that gives its wearer the power to disperse reishi, spirit particles, at a very high level.
Oh, I've got this. Oh.
Can never remove this glove again.
Oh.
And even though removing the glove will allow you to temporarily gain enormous power, Quincy powers completely.
Oh.
I'm right at the limit of the Ranzo Tenkai's properties. I can't hold out much longer against him. And I still don't know what it is that I truly want to protect. That which cannot ever be forgiven. I think I do know that one. I'm sorry, Master. I'm afraid once more, I must disobey you.
Oof. Whoa. Oh yeah, he's literally taking the spirit particles from everything. Oh my lord, what? Oof. Oh. I'm glad that was a bullseye. Damn.
Refuse, and the next shot will be 3 times stronger.
Oof.
Don't get carried away!
Oh my god. He took his arm.
Mere Quincy taunting me. Bankai.
He's gone to his Bankai stage. Oh.
Behold, Konjiki Ashisogi Jizo.
But how? I thought that Zanpakuto was already released.
Oof.
A shame that I won't be able to do research on such an excellent specimen as you.
Oh my lord. Oh. Oh. He must be dead now. Uryu. Heal from that, bitch. What? Did he kill him? Wait, what? Ew.
That was a close one, Quincy. In this state, although I can't fight back, neither can I be attacked or harmed in any way. But in the end, I will live, and you will die.
Yeah, I was like,
The poison is taking effect on me.
Behind the emblem on my left arm, I have an antidote.
You should go first.
That's kind, but you go ahead. I'll be okay. My body's the same substance as the captain's. Are you suspecting this is some kind of trap? If you'd like, put the bottle to my lips and I'll drink some. Thank you for showing my captain mercy. If you had aimed for the head, you most certainly would have killed him.
I intended to kill him, but I missed. Farewell. I guess my time as a Quincy has about reached its end. If after all this, I somehow got to the Senseiku first, what if I was the one who rescued Rukia?
oh.
I must terminate you. Cry, Suzumushi.
Oh my god. Oh my lord.
Forgive me, Ryoka.
It's Tenshintai, an important spiritual tool used by the Stealth Force. The manifestation and submission of the Zanpakuto is necessary for Bankai. It appears that you've actually reached manifestation or a comparable level already.
Nice. It's about time.
If you stab this with Zangetsu, it can forcibly bring it into the manifested state. With this method, the manifestation is limited to 3 days. During that time, you must defeat the manifested Zangetsu and force him into submission.
Damn.
Your
That's why it takes 10 years, because you have to force them into submission. Oof.
If you're saying there's no other way it can be done, then I've got to do it.
Oh, there he is.
I assume that you can start right away.
Of course.
Oh, is it? Oh shit.
What the heck did he just do?
Somewhere amongst these swords there is one. If you wish wish to force me into submission, you'll have to find a way to locate it before I can kill you. And then...
Go. That's so cool that he's getting to fight Zangetsu.
Lately, due to the recent Ryoka disturbance, our Squad 4 station is in daily chaos. Yesterday evening, the captains from Squad 8 and 13 requested to have a Ryoka admitted. Being asked to admit a Ryoka, it's just incomprehensible, really.
We just received a request from Captain Tosin of Squad 9. He would like us to admit a Ryoka for treatment.
Another one?
Nothing in the report changes the fact that you aided the Ryoka, that the damage they caused was substantial. One must always be accountable for one's actions.
I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble.
We'll have to trust Captain Unohana. It's in her hands now.
Oh.
Time to go, Sabimaru. I drew my sword against Momo.
Oh no, the other one.
How could I? I'm wretched and disgusting.
Oh, I feel guilty. What's that Gin?
Captain Ichimaru. Would you like me to help you? Would you, Izuru?
3 days. You don't have time to lie around feeling sorry for yourself.
I wish you could call it that.
If he hasn't the strength to stand on his own, then I'll just grab his scrawny neck and drag him to his feet.
So, Orihime, why don't you tell us what's going on?
I hope he's still alive. He must be. I'm sure that he is.
In fact, I'm certain of it. He's alive and he's getting stronger even as we speak. As a matter of fact, I'm going to help you out.
Oh, good.
Where am I?
Is that Gandhi?
So you're awake.
You're still alive! You didn't look so strong, so I thought maybe you would...
Hear what you're saying. I was thinking the exact same thing about you.
The situation has changed.
Oh,
Sato!
yay!
I overheard a couple of the guards talking outside the cell today.
If they kept us alive, then the others are probably alive. So there's a chance they might still be out there somewhere.
Ichigo will come for us. I'm certain of it.
Sword number 18.
That's it! After all I've been through.
Oh, it broke.
Too weak.
Oh.
The purpose of this trial is to find the one piece among them that was forged for the solitary purpose of combat.
So all of these are really my weaknesses. Damn it.
Come now, move on to the next one.
Oh yes. I wonder if I'll find out what she read in there. Oh. So those are episodes 44 and 45. Excuse me. Got a bit of a sore throat. Those were epic. I really loved the episode where we really got to see Uryu turn up. So that power up he was doing the special technique called the Ranso Tengai, which allows him to use the spiritual particles to essentially move his limbs. So if they're literally, if he, I don't know, at this point he had lost the use of his limbs because of this Sanpakuto of Mayuri, he's using the spiritual particles to essentially act like a puppet master to literally physically move his limbs. I have the ability to move his limbs, so that was impressive. We got to find out a bit more about Uryu's family. So his father even made a comment about how he didn't have any interest in it and he didn't believe Uryu was strong enough for it. So the Quincy's were going to die with the grandfather, and the reason why he didn't want to become a Quincy is because there was no profit. You couldn't make money off being a Quincy, which his grandfather confirmed. But Uryu had much more of a bigger need to want to become a Quincy, and he said that, I see the hollows, the Soul Reapers it's too much for the Soul Reapers, and you know, Dad even sees this, but I need to show Dad that I want to be a Quincy. I want to be strong enough to protect people. That's what Uryu's whole gist was, to protect people from the Hollows. So his grandfather was happy to know that, you know what, yes, I'm happy you'd want to carry on being a Quincy. But he also was correct in what he said about, you know, try and see it from your dad's point of view. Even up until this point during the battle, Uryu couldn't still understand what his dad was trying to protect. He couldn't see it from his dad's point of view. But it was at that time when he was younger that his grandfather gave him the glove, which we know as Sanrei Shoto. So the glove he gave to him as a child, and he told him the immense powers now he could reach with this glove. We also found out a couple of other stuff, such as once he trains with the glove, it almost becomes part of him. He can never take it off. If he does take it off, it gives him temporary burst of power, which we did see in the episode, which is absolutely epic. It gives him this immense burst of temporary power, but then once it's finished, he no longer could be a Quincy. So I'm wondering how true that is going forward after this fight with Mayuri. So as he's fighting him, and obviously he's becoming it's becoming hard for him, he's hitting the limit of the glove, he ends up breaking the glove and it releases the power. And we also see that it starts absorbing the particles, and obviously the Seireitei, the buildings and such, are made of he didn't say seki, but he's made of a sort of material which he's literally breaking down and adding to his attack. And dear God, was that attack amazing. He ended up shooting Mayuri's arm right off after he was able to it's not called jukes, but he's able to get him. And then I didn't hear the name of Mayuri's Sanpakuto in his Bankai form, but he released it in his Bankai form, and it was this ugly caterpillar thing. But of course, in this ridiculous new amazing, he ends up throwing it right through Mayuri's caterpillar, and also bursting a hole through him. However, Mayuri had a last trump in this last trump card, where he dissolved into this slush thing and disappeared off. But at this point, when he did release his Zanpakuto in his Bankai form, it had poisonous gas, which he unfortunately Uryu had inhaled, whereas Nemu was still there. She thanked him. She's telling him that, you know, you could have, if you aimed for the head, you would have killed him, but you decided to not do that. So she offered him antidote for the poison. He couldn't understand why she was still loyal to someone like that, but she just said, you know, it's hard to talk, like, it's hard to understand, but thank you for keeping him alive. So now I don't know if he did that on purpose, but Uryu said he'd missed. So he took the antidote, and he was on his way. So as he was obviously getting weaker and weaker, making his way over to the tower, he unfortunately comes into contact with Captain Tozin, who doesn't give him a second. He literally says, you know what, I'm sorry, but for the sake of peace, I'm going to have to end you right here. And he calls forth in his Sekai, or the first form, he calls forth his Zanpakuto, Susumushi is like cry, and it says, I don't know, that looks really epic. So he knocks Uryu out of, not the battlefield, but we go back to the training between Ichigo and Yoruichi, and we get loads of info dump, which is fantastic. So we find out, she brings out, I do apologize if this is incorrect, Tenchi-tine or something like that. It's like a cutout thing. So basically the whole way that the Bankai form takes several years to develop. However, he needs to do it in 3 days. The reason for that is the thing she brings out, Ichigo needs to stab his Zanpakuto into it, which will forcibly release Zangetsu, or the Zanpakuto's spirit. Once it comes out, it only allows 3 days for the spirit to be out into the real world, and therefore they duke it out. The reason why they also have to duke it out is because he needs to get Zangetsu, he needs to defeat him and get him to submit to him. During this process, they need to form a harmony, which we were starting to get bits of this in some of the previous fights with Ichigo. As Zangetsu was trying to reach out to him, there needs to be a bit more of a harmony between them, which will allow him to utilize Zangetsu, which I'm finally happy that we're getting to see this. So he stabs it in there and it releases Zangetsu, and then he now has 3 days while Zangetsu's in that world to fight him and defeat him, to hopefully get him to submit to him and have him use him or being able to manifest him or manifest that Bankai form. And in this case, when we saw with Mayuri, his whole damn ass caterpillar came into the forefront. So now I'm really interested to know all the Bankai forms of, say, all the Sanpakutos we've seen up until this point, such as Renji, because we even had Zabumaru standing there saying, "Come on, Renji, we need to get up and fight." Zabumaru literally released itself. So I'm really intrigued to see all the Sanpakutos we've come across, to see their forms. While they're fighting it out, the barracks of Squad 4 there's a lot of things happening there. One of the officers from Squad 13 is reading out a statement on behalf of Hanataro to Captain Unohana. So she's the captain of Squad 4, and obviously Hanataro being one of her officers. So I think she's obviously going to decide on his punishment as to what was happening. But I like that how Ukitake, the captain of Squad 13, had obviously, like he promised, got them there, and obviously wanted to vouch for Hanataro, which I thought was nice. Even Hanataro spoke to the lieutenant, I didn't catch her name, about how he wonders if he got involved, he just made everything worse. But essentially his fate is now in his captain's hands to find out what she wants to do with him. Uryu, Chad and Ganju are all in the cells in Squad 4. Sorry, in the barracks of Squad 4. So they're all there, and the cufflinks they have on essentially block out their spiritual pressure, meaning they can't use any powers to sort of get out. So they're all kind of assuming, because of the information that Chad found out from his previous encounter with Captain of Squad 8, he knows that the things have changed, which they have. Everyone's on much more high alert because of the murder of Aizen. So instead of, when they question like why did they keep us alive, they're going to be questioned in regards to this. They're kind of all number one suspects. So Chad said, we'll just wait here for Ichigo. He'll eventually find us. And similarly, similar to Orihime, after Maki from Squad 11 had taken her back and he ran into Yachiru, the lieutenant of Squad 11. They went back, and she's now in the barracks of Squad 11. And obviously there we've got Yumichika, we've got Ikaku, who are querying, wondering, is Ichigo even still alive? Obviously we've got a bandaged up Kenpachi, who's like, he's definitely alive. You can even sense that he's getting stronger. So he's like, we know what, I think I'm going to stick with you, Orihime, because I'm more likely to find Ichigo again, because he is ready for that round 2 with Ichigo. So that's actually quite cool. We finally got to see Izuru. He was feeling incredibly guilty. He was in his cell. By the looks of it, he's been slashing up the cell. He feels incredibly guilty for when he actually pulled out his Sanpakuto and Momo. Like I mentioned in the reaction, they were friends. And it was in that moment, obviously, she was feeling incredibly overwhelmed after finding out the death of her captain. And he was just protecting his own captain because she was about to fight Gin. So he was incredibly distraught. He was feeling incredibly sad about what had happened. And obviously Gin had turned up trying to offer help. So I wonder what sort of help he would offer, because I really hope it doesn't do anything to him. So yes, so everyone, I do like that we've got loads of main players, a lot of captains, and a lot of people are aware of how strong these Ryoka are, and not just that, but are very aware of Ichigo. So I've just got a feeling it all comes down to when Ichigo emerges from his Bankai training. It's gonna be it's just going to be a goal towards him rescuing Rukia, and of course getting back his friends, because a lot of them are still trapped, a lot of them are in jail are captive. Like Orihime is not necessarily in jail, she seems to be sitting there with the Squad 11. And yes, I wonder if we're going to get more insight into this whole murder of Aizen, because again it's still quite mysterious and interesting, and a lot of people, like, it seemed to have affected the captain of Squad 8 a lot when he'd heard the murder of Aizen. So I'm really interested to see where we go from here. So that was another good couple of episodes, and as always, like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.